On last week's episode of WrestleRank, where does it stand in our rankings? I put pro wrestling for the Nintendo Entertainment System at the top of the list. Hello everybody, and welcome to the VGWA. I'm Cobrettie.
And I'm Wally.
And come join us today for another episode of WrestleRank as we play through all the console wrestling video games. Today's game is a game with a wrestler, but not necessarily a wrestling game.
But it has a wrestler in it?
And it's a game, Fusion Ha! For those of you who may not know what this game is and want to try to guess along, it was released in 1987 in Japan, published by Ricksoft, the game development branch of the Ricoh Corporation.
Hey, isn't Ricoh a printer company?
I worked at an office that had a Ricoh printer. It made me want to go all Office Space on it.
And that's why everybody bought Xerox.
Additional information, this game was designed by Hudson Soft, who also designed the TurboGrafx 16.
They made some really hard shooter games.
Everybody loves a good shmup. The wrestler in this game is Riki Choshu of New Japan Pro Wrestling at the time.
And why did they pick him?
Because everybody needs to market their brand, like the VGWA. Make sure to like and subscribe.
So, Cobrettie, I'm still lost on what this game really is.
Let's watch a commercial to find out.
ついに登場新人類倒すか倒されるか生き残りをかけたリアルサバイバルゲームリキが全てだ新人類2月10日待望のゴング
Well, that's proof that wrestlers are great actors. Look how happy he is playing this video game.
This game is pretty hard. Beyond Nintendo hard. It's damn hard.
You know, I don't want to call us out on this one, but it's not a wrestling game.
This game started out as a totally different game. Riki Choshu was going to be your friend or partner, and there was going to be a day and night cycle. It was a mixture of vertical and horizontal scrolling. Was this too much? Had there been too much scope creep? Or maybe because the wrestler was part of the design team.
You know, this is kind of like a fight for, well, a game that's not coming out anytime soon.
Dream Match 2023. Riki Choshu versus Kenny Omega.
Go Choshu! For such an ambitious game, how could they recoup their money on this?
The first look at this game was shown in Famitsu in December 12, 1986, and they were able to totally rework it into a new game by February 20th, 1987.
You know, that's pretty impressive to make a completely redesigned new game in 2 months, where nowadays it takes a year and a half to 2 years. Not calling anybody out, Fight Forever.
And interestingly enough, there are still remnants of the vertical shooter game it was based off of. You can tell that they've replaced the sprites, but not quite everything made through. People picked this up during the tips and tricks in Famitsu. Upon certain conditions, a bug would show a plane at the start screen. Okay, it's not a wrestling game.
Whoa, it is not a wrestling game.
But I'm making you play it anyway.
Yeah, you did, and I'm not thanking you for that.
But we got past the first level at least.
Well, you got past the first level at least. I got past 1-3. That's about all.
This game actually has good graphics, but I gotta tell you, the controls are a little wonky.
I just think we're spoiled nowadays. There's only 2, count 'em, 2 sweet buttons on the controller.
And it does have one wrestling move in it, a one move of doom. You can lariat all across the screen as Riki Choshu.
Hey, it sounds like the Ultimate Warrior.
Now that is a mod I want to see. You can have the Ultimate Warrior who was just known for running and throwing a lariat in a game. And to me, it seems like dinosaurs would be in parts unknown.
Hey, I think the pixel art is pretty good in the game. They have a lot of different colors and there are different palettes within the game. But I think it's decent for 1987.
Decent? Did you see the graphics of the end boss of the first level? Look at the size of that sprite. That's impressive.
No! Don't you remember? I didn't get that far in the game.
In Japan, this game was released in 1987, and it was later released in 1989 for the Nintendo Entertainment System, where it was not a wrestling game.
And it wasn't a wrestling game in 1987 either.
But it didn't have a wrestler in it in 1989. Riki Choshu was replaced by Macho Ricky.
Touché, Cobrettie, but neither one are wrestling games.
Now, if there was one area where this game excelled at, it was sound design. Each level had its own unique soundtrack.
Yeah, the clinking of every time you hit a flower was pretty cool.
Clink, 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 clink. Each weapon also had its own unique sound as well, and the boss battles had their own unique soundtrack. The sound quality almost is reminiscent of Super Mario Bros.
Definitely not tag team wrestling.
And for those of you who are interested in playing this game, here's a lifesaver for you. Once you die and get to the game over screen, press up and start to continue.
I did it a lot.
Me too. So for the moment of truth, how do you rate this game? Me, honestly, I rate it as a good game.
Me, honestly, I rate it as it's not a wrestling game, so I can't rate it.
Regardless if it's a wrestling game or not, let's take that out of the equation. What do you rate it? It has a wrestler in it.
Okay, fine. If I'm just gonna rate the game as a game, the game is good. I give it that. It's harder than what I'd like, but it's still a good game to play. It's one of those I can pick up and play real quick and die a lot. So, Cobrettie, what is the going price for this game? It's gotta be cheap. I mean, it's not a wrestling game.
If you don't include shipping, you can get it from Japan for $1.
The American version can go as low as $11 without shipping and up to $60 without shipping. So my money is on the Japanese version.
So go ahead, pick yourself up New Type, Kinnikuman, and Tag Match, all for $1 a piece, and bundle them together and ship them home.
And remember, we do not get any kickback from any Kinnikuman sales.
So where do you put this game in the rankings?
I put it on a different page because it's not a wrestling game.
But wasn't it more enjoyable than Champion Pro Wrestling?
Yeah, it was. But I'd rather play WCW's Backstage Assault.
So our David Arquette champion for not a wrestling game is New Type. And WrestleMania season is upon us, so make sure to join us next time as we rank all the games that have WrestleMania in their titles.
Oh, thank God we're actually going to do a wrestling video game this time.